Hey guys, today we're going to be doing you a recipe called Oceanic Bliss. It's a sea bass that we're going to be pan-searing on the griddle. This is a LTE Pro Series 40-inch griddle. And we're going to be also doing fried eggplant, and we're going to be doing some griddled veggies, some squash and zucchini with some lump crab meat, little shish kebabs, and we're going to be doing a Beurre Blanc sauce directly on the griddle. Right here we have a sea bass, but you know, it's comparable to the texture of this once it's cooked it's very similar to like a lump crab meat texture. If you can't get sea bass and you have like red snapper, you can use ling, you can use grouper, swordfish. I probably wouldn't use tuna, but any type of sea bearing fish would be a good protein for this recipe. But we love the sea bass because of the texture, and you'll see exactly what I mean by that once we get further into this. So we're going to start with the Beurre Blanc sauce, which is basically a French sauce. It includes butter, shallots, garlic, white wine, and then we're going to end it at the very end by spooning in and stirring in pats of butter to thicken it up. We're going to put a little bit of fresh lemon because you need a little bit of acid to balance out with the fat, and it's going to create a very robust and citrusy, creamy, buttery sauce on top of the fish once we're complete. We started off by, we sweated down the butter already, and we're going to add the shallots to about a half a cup. And we're just gonna saute that down. You don't wanna add the garlic in too soon because it'll actually burn the garlic. We're not looking to burn the garlic. We just wanna cook it long enough to allow the flavors and the oils from the garlic to come into the sauce. So we're just gonna sweat this down. We have the grill set on high, and it's pretty evident that with a good flat saucepan, you can actually boil in a skillet or a saucepan. And then we're going to come back right now and we're going to add the garlic, which is 3 cloves of minced garlic. We're going to sweat that down, and within just a few seconds you can already smell the garlic coming off the grill. We're going to come back and add 2 cups of any kind of white wine, dry white wine, and it's approximate. And what you want to do is you want to bring this up to a boil. And once it gets up to a boil, you want to reduce this mixture down by half. So just kind of keep an eye on where your lines are in your saucepan, and you want to bring it up to a boil. And once it reduces to half, then we're going to start with the next phase of building that Beurre Blanc beautiful sauce. So guys, now we're at about the halfway point, so we're going to come back and add in about a tablespoon of fresh minced dill weed. We're just going to add that in. Again, you don't want to do it too soon because you'll burn it. And we're going to add in about a quarter cup of fresh squeezed lemon juice. Again, that's that citrus. It kind of creates, it balances out the fat, which we're going to be spooning in all these pats of butter and letting it thicken up. And then you let this kind of blend in together. Let's see. The aroma is incredible. It's already starting to build. And then we're going to come back and we're just going to start adding in pats of butter at a time. 1 pat, and just stir it in, let it melt down, let it emulsify in with the sauce. And then come back and add in another pat or 2, and then just keep stirring that around. And you'll notice that as the butter and the fat comes off the butter, it'll thicken up and create a nice thick sauce. Now, if you wanted to speed that up, you could also take some heavy whipping cream, which we'll put in a little bit at the end, just to kind of thicken it up. You want to be careful though, because it'll, if it cools off, if it's not served right out of the pots onto the fish, it'll actually start to coagulate and thicken up and separate. So we're just going to keep adding this. You can see it's starting to thicken up. And we're just going to keep adding in the butter. Then we're going to come back and just lightly season with fresh cracked black pepper and sea salt. So we're going to add in about a teaspoon of black pepper, or a pinch, and a little bit of sea salt, just a pinch. We're not looking for a lot of extra seasonings in this part, but we want the sauce and the velvetiness of it to be the shining part of the actual sauce. So just salt and black pepper is preferred. And we're just gonna keep stirring this in, let it thicken up, let it reduce down. You see the steam coming off, that's all the water cooking out of the wine. It's gonna give us a very robust, flavorful, fruity flavor. And with that extra little lemon in there, it's gonna give it that nice punch at the very end. Okay guys, so again, like I said, right here, it's a little too runny. You could actually, I could let this wine reduce down a lot more, but if you wanna speed up the process, you could take heavy whipping cream and just add in a little bit at a time. You're probably gonna end up adding about a half a cup, and you just keep stirring it in. And what'll happen, this has a lot of water in it too, so be patient, it'll steam out, but just keep adding a little bit at a time to where you got about half a cup of heavy whipping cream in there. And it's not only gonna help thicken it up, it's also gonna create another flavor profile, which is really creamy and robust. But we're just gonna keep letting this reduce down, and we're gonna move to the next step of our recipe, which is gonna be the fried eggplant, and we're just gonna move this over to the unlit side and just let it keep warm. Now we're gonna start with our fried eggplant. So we dredged it in the egg and some extra heavy whipping cream wash, and dredged it through a panko breadcrumb. You can use regular flour if you like. I like the panko because it gives it a certain extra crispness to it. And we're just gonna put some clarified butter on the griddle. I'm gonna spread it around with our spatula, get it nice and even. And then we're just gonna come back and throw on our eggplant and just fry them directly on the griddle. So over here, we still reducing the sauce, and we have this in a zone where we have it a little bit lower to a medium. We went ahead and added our eggplant over a hot fire. Once we get it on both sides fried, we're gonna reduce that down. You don't wanna overcook your eggplant. It depends on you. I like mine still with a little bit of crispness to the vegetable, but if you like it a little bit more done, you can leave it on a little bit longer. And then we're gonna come back here in a second and add our squash and zucchini, and that'll be over a medium fire. So I mean, what's really neat is that you can actually turn one of these burners off, and the heat will still transfer slowly and gradually over there. So it's more of a warming area, and we'll probably end up doing that once we finish our vegetables. Okay, now guys, we're gonna add our squash and zucchini spears. Now, I like the spears. You can cut them into discs if you want. The spears just add a little bit more size to the plate. And I normally sear both sides of the cut side. So I'll put one side, cut side down, and then we'll come back and flip them over after that. And again, just like the eggplant, depending on your preference, I like my veggies a little crunchy, so I generally just sear one side, sear the other side, and basically move them over to an unlit area of the griddle. Ooh, that smells good. And again, we just lightly oil these with olive oil and this salt and pepper. So we got the sea bass right here. It's been deboned and deskinned, but now we're just gonna oil them up and season them up. So you just wanna take a little bit of olive oil and just drizzle it over the meat. You wanna get it all around, just all around the protein. And then we got a special blend of seasoning, which will be on the recipe. It's basically a Cajun seasoning, Greek seasoning, and dill weed. And you wanna put this on generously because it is a pretty large size fish, and the seasoning we're using does not have a lot of sodium in it. So we're more using this as a blackening seasoning. So you want to get it on all sides, and we're going to go straight to the grill with a little bit of declarified butter, and we're going to sear it and blacken it. Blackening is not burning. It's actually a Maillard effect produced by the sugars from the protein as well as from the seasoning that creates a nice flavorful caramelization. So we're gonna take, again, some declassified butter. We jacked up the temperature a little bit to where it's on high again. Put some declarified butter on there, spread it out, make sure it's nice and even on the griddle. And we're just gonna take our filets and put them right on the hot grill. You're gonna want that to sear for a good 2 to 3 minutes. Check underneath, make sure it's not burning, that it's just more of a blackening effect. and then flip it. You want to even stand it up on end, just like you would a filet mignon if you wanted to get all the maillard on all sides. So we're just going to let that go for a little while, come back, and we're going to flip them. So right here, guys, we're trying to find an internal temperature of around 130 to 135 for the fish. And what's really nice about this LTE Pro Series griddle, it does come with 3 probes. So you can actually stick it into the thickest part of your meat and cover it. And the temperature, internal temperature reading will be right here. So we're still below 100, so we got a little ways to go. Okay guys, look, we're at 125, so we're hitting the home stretch. So now we're gonna finish it off with the little lump crab meat kebabs. We're gonna set this aside, our little grilling dome. We're gonna move the fish over to the unlit side, keep it warm. Then we're gonna scratch off some of this into our nice big drip tray. And we're gonna come back again with a little bit of declarified butter. And we're gonna have the lump crab meat that we're just gonna basically heat up because it's pre-cooked. It's been blanched. So we're just kind of putting a nice little sear on it, give it a little bit of color, take a little bit of our seafood blend, give it a little dusting, like that. Our fish is at 134, it's done. We got the sourdough bread, and we got some freshly grated cheese. You can use any kind of cheese you want. We're using Parmesan. Just want to put a nice little dusting directly on the griddle. Put the bread over the cheese and just let it sear. Spread it out pretty good. And just let that melt and cook into the sourdough. We're gonna scrape it up, flip it. We're gonna toast the other side, and we're ready to plate it up. Here's the final plate up. We got the Oceanic Bliss, the sea bass, pan-seared sea bass over fried eggplant, the lump crab meat shish kebabs, beautiful squash and zucchini spears, and a Parmesan-crusted bread. We cooked all of this on the LTE Pro Series 40-inch griddle, brand new. It's a delight to cook on, and we hope you enjoyed this recipe. Cook it for you and your family. I think you'll enjoy it.